Hey ho, Sally BC here, and today I'm doing a video on Transformers Studio Series Transformers 1 Deluxe Optimus Prime. So here he is in his Cybertronian truck mode. Very accurate to how he looked in the film, though it probably could have done with being a little bit wider, and it would have been lovely if it was slathered in metallic paint to replicate the gorgeous aesthetic of the film. Unfortunately his forearms are just kind of sticking out on the side here. It would be less annoying if his hands weren't so visible. I do think the mainline figure handled the arms better, but ideally they would have formed the bumper like they're supposed to. You can even see the seam line where the arms would join together. The bumper is painted in this yellowish grey, as well as the grille, these thrusters on the sides, as well as these details in the bed. It's very similar to some of the plastic colour. It's definitely a bit of a weird colour. In the film they were just regular silver, but some of the early concept art does show it this yellowish colour. It does result in this toy looking like it's been sat in a smoker's house for a decade. The bed is a little messy, with the obvious crotch, and huge gaps. Unfortunately there's no trailer hitch, but he didn't have one in the movie, so I guess it makes sense. But this gap can be used to store his accessory. You just need to open it up, and these tabs on the side of the axe will go into these holes. Pretty typical weapon storage, nothing too special. He also has a rare vehicle mode accessory. These tabs go into these holes on the bumper, and now he's got his iconic truck guns, which he used a grand total of once in the film. They do fill out the front a little more. These gaps on the sides are less visible, but something about them just feels off, like they stick out too far. They're also a pain in the backside to get back out. Come on. For comparison, here is 86 Optimus Prime, another deluxe truck, Kingdom Pipes, another Cybertronian truck, Age of the Primes Primer, my previous Transformers video, Age of the Primes Deluxe Toy Ultra Magnus, Deluxe Bumble Jumper, Voyager Animated Nemesis Prime, and Deluxe Horrible, a Lego minifigure, and 86 Optimus Prime. For transformation, start by spinning these thrusters around. Then come to the roof and just lift it up. The very obvious hands will detach from here. It's a very tight connection. Then you want to take these front sections and they will spin up, or they'll pop off. Either's fine. Then they will swing out to the back and then swing in. Detach the legs and swing them down. Make sure this is folded down. Flip out the feet. Take the whole cab section and lift it up. Fold in the bumper and then fold it back down. Then you can spin the entire top section around. Come to the roof, spin it around, and that will just sit on the back. Then you'll flip out the head, flip it up and spin it around. And finally just fold in these sections. And here is Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And he looks a lot like he does in the film. He definitely gives off the vibe that he's too squat. But removing his backpack fixes his silhouette a bit. But typically I don't really feel the need to remove it. Again, the weird yellowish grey stands out. And I really wish they had time to change it back to grey before final release. Because apparently it was going to be grey, and then they changed it to yellow, only for the film to come out and it be grey. But even then he still could have done with a metallic coat. It really would have made him come alive. They just look so pretty in the movie, and this pales in comparison. There's a few painted details, like the chest, legs, and feet, so he probably could have done with more. I would have liked if he had the black sections in his arms. His head is pretty accurate, definitely not spot on. It probably could have done with being slightly taller, and it would have been nice if he came with an alternate unmasked head. His smokestacks are on 5mm ports, so they can swivel around, or be wielded as guns. A lot of that recently, but he does come with some proper accessories. There's of course his axe, plugs over his hand, and it looks pretty cool. Like most pieces of One merch, it's blue rather than yellow, since that's what concept art used. It can store on his back, though it's a bit of a tight fit, meaning the slightest nudge can send it flying. His guns from alt mode can attach to the underside of his backpack. They're pretty small connection points, but surprisingly they actually stay on pretty well. You can see them from the front, but it's easily ignorable. He does have one more accessory, and to absolutely no one's surprise, it's a matrix. There's no way they weren't going to include a matrix with this guy, considering how important it is in the film. But this is tiny. It also has a more traditional matrix colour, with the bronze core and silver handles, rather than the full gold that it was in the film. I have to assume this is based on concept art. It's got these small tabs on the side, and they plug into Optimus's knuckles to give the effect that he's holding it. It kinda works. It definitely could have done with being bigger. For articulation, he's got a ball joint at the head and a cut at the back that allows him to look all the way up. I love it when figures do this, and I've never seen it this good before. Arms can go all the way around, but this hinge sometimes collides with the chest or the backpack. And this far out, he's got a slight backwards and a forwards butterfly. By using some of the transformation joints in the arms, it does allow you to get some other poses, but they can be a bit difficult to work with. Elbow bend, bicep swivel, wrist swivel, torso swivel, but it's positioned quite far back, so it can sometimes look a little weird. Legs can go forward this far, back this far, and this far out. The legs are on a ball joint, so there's a slight thigh swivel, but there's also an above the knee swivel, knee bend, ankle pivot, and a toe down. There are some weird bits of posing on this guy, but you can still get him into plenty of dynamic stances, but it takes a little bit of work. For comparison, here is 86 Optimus Prime, another Deluxe truck, Kingdom Pipes, another Cybertronian truck, Age of the Primes Primer, my previous Transformers video, Age of the Primes Deluxe Toy Ultra Magnus, Deluxe Bumble Jumper, Voyager Animated Nemesis Prime, and Deluxe Horrible, a Lego minifigure, and 86 Optimus Prime. This is much smaller than most Optimus Prime figures, but since he doesn't turn into an Earth vehicle, they can kind of just get away with whatever size they want to make it. It does also mean that the entire cast will be more affordable. I mean, I'm pretty sure even at this scale, Megatronus would need to be a commander class. Probably would have needed to be Titan if this guy was like Voyager or even leader class. But more importantly, they're accessible to newcomers, since Transformers 1 was such a great introduction to the franchise. Ultimately, I really enjoy this figure, even with the few quibbles I have with it here and there. And I think it's a great start to the Transformers 1 Studio Series figures. But let's see what other people think. 500 cigarettes. Jokes aside, he looks fun. Just wish the arms folded away somehow. Maybe if he was a Voyager? Brilliant figure. Probably one of my favorite deluxes. The beigey color does get some getting used to, but I think it somewhat fits, so long as it's not compared to B or Alita. I do wish the skirt piece was segmented instead of being one whole piece. Also, proportionally, I think his chest in robot mode is a little too big. Oh hey, finally one for a figure I own. Great figure. The grill's attachment to the robot mode is way too loose though, and the parts forming for the grill in general is kinda lame. Good posability and fun transformation, even if his hands are exposed. He looks like a face-planted man with a rucksack when he's in truck mode. Making the TF1 stuff deluxes really hurt the figures. Alright then, I guess I would say it shouldn't have been deluxe. Also, the fact the colours are those weird murky brown never made sense to me. Very mid. It probably would have been helped by being a Voyager. Mediocre, but the hate is overplayed. Posing, transformation, and alt mode are all average. The visible hand syndrome bothers me, but it's whatever. Axe is nice, and the parts forming piece is annoying. Yes, he looks like he's pre-yellowed, but so do Megatron and Starscream, and I don't see anyone bashing them. Overhated. I think he's pretty freaking great. In fact, I'ma fish him off my shelves and mess with him again. A figure I really wanted right before I watched the movie. Got it 4 weeks after in the mail. Worth it. The figure is very dynamic and solid. Give the vehicle mode a shake. Nothing is moving. The Matrix gimmick is neat, and being able to hold the thing is a nice touch. Not the Earthrise Matrix? Nunny? The weapon storage for the vehicle guns and axe for robot mode is a bit slapdash. The other point of the gun he wielded needing either the DNA kit or buying either Alita or B-127 is also a bit eh. Well, Optimus technically never actually used the gun, it was Orion who used it, so maybe the Orion coming out next year will come with the gun. But overall, I'd say recommending this figure, especially if you liked Transformers 1. It's an okay figure, but I'd appreciate the look a lot more if it didn't come pre-yellowed. In all seriousness, the bot mode is fine apart from how discolored the grey looks. And while the shoulders are too far back, you can fan mode him to fix that. However, the alt mode is not the greatest in my opinion, and the transformation is not good at all. It feels like you only do half of it. There's interesting stuff going on in the body for a bit, then you kick the legs forward and he's done. It feels so unfinished. I keep having to remind myself that I'm not forgetting something. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. Still wondering when that non-yellowed version of the mold will release. Give it 3 years, it'll be in a 2-pack with Megatron. The only figure from Studio Series Transformers 1 I have so far. He's not too bad, aside from the crappy beige colour that should have been silver. Also got rid of the alt mode guns as soon as I got him LeMayo. Too flimsy and crappy. Kept the axe though, as it actually stores in alt mode decently well. And speaking of the alt mode, it's fairly solid and stays together nicely if you were to shake it a bit. Defo recommend if you need to complete Studio Series Transformers 1 cast. Make sure to tell me what you think down in the comments. But that's about it for this video, so I guess that's Salut BC out. Next time isn't a gun.